Welcome once again to another edition of Tales from the Mile of Gold. I'm Ian McPherson, and I want to introduce you to someone that many people around Kirkland Lake and area know, and beyond, because she's so infamous, and a mother, and an entertainer, perhaps.
Come see, come on.
And she is Dolores Dandrea. But you know what? I want to know your maiden name.
Costello.
Costello. Somebody told me you were Irish.
Oh, I guess so.
I beg pardon?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Irish and a few other things too, but Irish, yes.
Yeah.
And I pretty well went through that when I could squeeze out of
But
being
you-
Italian.
Well, you certainly do represent a great segment of the Kirkland Lake I grew up in, which was Italian, of course.
Well, yes.
Yes, yeah. But I want to hear about how you got here. Were you born in Kirkland Lake?
Nope.
Whereabouts?
Schenectady, New York.
Schenectady.
New York, just near
Yeah.
Albany, the
Yes, the capital.
capital
Yeah.
of the New York State.
All right. In the city? Are you a city girl?
No, I'm Schenectady, New York. That was the home of General Electric at that time. But
Okay.
that's 1937 I came here.
Okay.
My mother took sick and she passed away eventually. So my dad called up and said, "Sister, could you take one of my children?" And she took me. So she raised me
Ah. So you came to Kirkland Lake right from Schenectady.
right from Schenectady. My mom was in the hospital and he had a caregiver, but he couldn't afford a caregiver for full time. So my sister went to Pembroke with my grandparents. She was 17 months old. And I came here and lived here ever since.
Okay. And how old would you have been at that time?
I was
I told
six.
you I was going to ask you questions.
Oh,
like
that's
this.
okay. 6 years old. 6 years old.
So you were here during the war.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and probably had very vivid memories.
Oh, yes.
You know?
I was alone till I was about 9, so I absorbed everything in the town.
You know, Sid Hamden told me in an interview we'd done prior to this one about the day that
The war was over?
the day the war was over and what went on in Chappie Hughes in his case.
Oh, yes.
He said it was amazing. People were out on the street, and was that the same?
Yes. We ran all the way yelling down the hill on O'Mara Boulevard. I went to the Holy Name School, and the kids were yelling and down the... Yes, it was very memorable.
Yeah. Yeah, a few things I can remember, you know, as your life goes through, I'm sure that would be a pivotal point.
Yes.
That, and perhaps, you know, for people like me, it's the moon landing, of course, and stuff like that. But in your case, there's a lot of kids came in between.
Yes.
Many, as I was telling you, but I'm jumping ahead.
That's okay.
I'm
That's
jumping
okay.
ahead.
We're on the same
So,
level.
what about this guy you married now? How did he come along?
Blind date. I worked at the telephone office, and the day that they asked him, it said, "There's 5 girls here, and we're having a dance, and we're going to have we're trying to find somebody to go with these." So I said to Dominic, Doreen Forn, her name was, and she said, "Dominic, we have a girl here we'd like you to take to the dance at Northern Telephone, February the 4th, 47 or something like that. Anyway, yes, so he says, "That shy girl?" Well, he chewed those words a few times after. Yeah, so that was the beginning.
That was the beginning.
Yeah, a couple of years.
So you were in that whole group of people that ran the phones here.
Number, please.
Number, please. Yes.
Yes. Mr. Sullivan was manager at that time.
Yeah, and that was located over here on.
Yeah, right behind the old post office or the town hall now. That building is
behind.
still there,
It's
yes.
still there, that
Yes, it
building.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you remember some names? You mentioned my
Oh,
mother-in-law. I couldn't
are
believe
you
that she.
kidding?
You know, you told me something earlier. I didn't know my mother-in-law had worked at that switchboard. I
Yes,
know
she
she
did.
worked in Cobalt, but
Yeah.
give me some other names.
Flemings.
Yes.
And the Fleming girls lived there, the Sullivan Girls. There were 5 of them,
Yeah.
Mr. Sullivan's daughters.
Yeah.
And, there were so many. In fact, last night a girl was over and we were reminiscing. her name is, I can't remember names, so
Yeah.
she had a nice name. It's Marilyn.
Marilyn.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots
It's
of.
all gone now, of course. Anyway, so you met this fella, and you went on a blind date, 1947. And did anything come of that?
Yeah, sure. We got married 2 years later.
Yeah?
Yeah, we had a nice courtship because we had to, because after that, I think it was babies. We put our time into the family, but
Yeah.
it was good. Yeah.
Did you get away on a honeymoon somewhere?
Oh, yeah, not Niagara Falls.
Did you? Yeah.
No, yeah.
So your second biggest disappointment was Niagara Falls?
Never
an old jo-
disappointed a day in
No.
my life. He was a big marshmallow.
Was he? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Wonderful
got
guy.
Oh, he was.
Tell me about him.
Tell you about it? Well, you never told him a secret. Don't ever tell him a secret. He doesn't keep secrets. He never held a grudge against anybody. The best place he worked was Eastern Sherwood. The best bank was where he banked. Everything was the best.
Yeah.
And they played a few tricks on him. Well, it wasn't so good then. But he was
No,
okay.
I know some people that had dealings with him and spoke very highly of him always at Heath and Sherwood.
He was a clever boy. He was well, at that time he was out in the shop, and he was a machinist for 7 years.
Yeah.
And this day the fellow in the drafting office quit, so they came out and said, Dominic, do you know anything about drafting? Yes, I do. So we went in there. 42 years later, he stayed at
Oh,
Heath and
really?
yeah. So that was good. He was very
42 years. So the kids
efficient.
came along. Yeah, well, all the Italian guys love to fish.
Did they
Eh?
ever? Yeah. Not Dominic. He wasn't a fisherman.
No?
No.
No?
No, he was more for going out to give his time to the bingo at the Knights of Columbus, the bingo at the
Yeah.
Italian club, giving to the community, making sausages, of course,
Yeah.
and working like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So tell me about the kids.
kids. Well, we had 7 children, and of course, you know, 2 are deceased.
Yeah.
And by the way, his Beverly's son has lived with me for 10 years.
Has she?
Yeah,
Has he?
when Dominic was there too.
Yeah.
So he's there. He's 30 years old now, and he's a darling.
Wow.
Anyway, looks after Grandma.
Boy, time's gone, eh? Mm-hmm.
So we managed to get along and everything, and have good times. And this weekend, last weekend, oh, it was so wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you down at our end at all?
I was down at your end. Actually, one of my brother stopped right by,
Yes.
but I didn't. I had too many things I was supposed to be doing. It seemed like I ran around and didn't get everything done I wanted to, and that was one of them.
Is that right? Eh? Yeah.
And you were busy. I understand you were once again singing.
Well, that's what what was the name of that show?
Cabaret.
Yeah,
show.
Cabaret. I think they had few because it was Memory Lane, eh, for Cabaret too. It
Right.
wasn't their production. They do it in February, I think. So anyway, I belonged to it a few years ago for about 5 or 6 years, and then they wanted you to move on because they wanted other people. They didn't want
Yeah.
the same ones up there all the
Yeah.
time. So anyway, that's what happened. So I went in, and a few of us said, well, maybe we'll put our names in. And they said, so one day they came and said, Dolores, I think you're going to use Cabaret, because that's what I used to do, open up the show. So I did.
So that stems from something else, though. There was an organization, I think, through the church that you remember for years and did a lot of performing. Was there not?
Yeah. I think it was called the Irish Club.
It was called the.
Irish Club.
Well, there was the Irish
Yeah,
Club, of
yeah,
course.
but that was years ago. I didn't
Yeah.
really follow the Irish Club as much as the Italians, because I brought,
Yeah.
all the gang there. Yeah.
But through the church? That was through the church?
Yes, that was through the
Was it
church.
singing or was it plays?
Well, it was plays and singing.
Yeah.
And people taught dance, like the lad that was a fireman, and I just forget his name because you
Don't
lose
worry
it.
about names.
Okay. And he tap danced, eh? And
Tap dance?
Yes, he did.
Okay,
Oh, it
and was
re-
your forte always singing?
Yes, pretty well. Well, a little bit in the shows, like Who Put the Overalls in Mrs. Murphy's Chowder, they put a little skit on. So we were, yeah. Yes, they did. And Lorraine Rabazza was quite involved with
Yeah.
the events. Yeah. So it was nice. And of course we sang, then the boys were there, they played the three lads that sing.
Okay.
You picked me, but I'm sorry, my mind is kind of
Well, when
disappeared.
it comes to names, I'm quite a bit your junior, and I have trouble with names now.
Are you kidding? You're
And
junior.
there's so many people have gone through Kirkland Lake to try to remember all their names, you know.
Well, yeah. Did you
Many
see
were
the
here,
pic-
but
Oh my gosh, it was wonderful to see some of them, but not my age group because they're all not here. Anyway, that's the way the ball bounces. Father Costello, that's the way
Father
the ball
Costello.
bounces. Yeah, Dolores.
way the
I
remember
have to-
him one time saying that's the way the bounce falls. So I don't know.
That's a good one. Hey, I'll probably go and remember that one and forget the other one now. Yeah, I'd like to tell you a story about
Sure.
Father Costello, but
Yeah.
it's a little bit orange and green.
Okay,
Do you
well,
go
we'll
that?
let them get sued. Sure,
Okay.
go for it.
Okay. Father Costello said, Dolores, we're related. If your family came from Pembroke, the Costellos and mine, we're related. Oh, no, we're not. Oh, yes, we are. Oh, no, we're not. Okay, I'll tell you why we're not. My grandma was Maggie Murphy, and
Yeah.
she was green. My grandpa was W.P. Costello, and he was orange. No, we're not related. So it was pretty cute. Yes, he was a lovely.
So looking ahead for Kirkland Lake,
Pardon?
looking ahead for Kirkland Lake, what do you think is in store for us? You think we'll still be here in 100 years from now?
I think so. I think we
Yeah.
have the spirit. I think they'll do anything to get out and
We've
have
had
it.
these highs and we've had these awful lows, you know, with
But then, now the kids are pretty well in their own field.
Yeah.
They're busy there, and technology has kind of taken over the kids. Even the little ones like this. Nan, you have to click that twice. Oh, okay. Click, click. They're sweets. Yeah, they're nice.
anything else you'd like to add? I love your outfit.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course, because this was the big sweater there. Well, the kids all got one of these.
And then they got one for Rumors Bar. That was their thing
Yeah.
that they wore on the at the event, because that's what they were saying, things from the past. That's what
Yeah.
we were passing the message on.
Well, the boys, your two boys ran the Prin for quite a while, the Princess Hotel.
Well, that's what they had. They had
Was that
Rumors
called-
Bar. Yeah,
That was called Rumors, yeah. that's
yeah.
right,
Down
it
in the
was.
basement was Rumors Bar.
Rumors, yeah.
Pink and gray was their colors, so they all had the shirts on. Yeah, they all went out. Holy crow! I'll tell you, the place was a zoo. And we had homemade sausages. Who makes those sausages and had the recipe from the group that started the sausage grind. It wasn't just Dominic. There was 12 of them, and they worked from the Knights of Columbus and had, I think, 2 big grinds a year, maybe 1,500 pounds. So
1,500 pounds.
yeah, on a Saturday,
Yeah.
all the parents came out if that was their school that was doing it or whatever.
Yeah.
And then after that, they gave it up after they were getting tired of working all the time. So Dominic says, I'll take it over. So when they went to a school or whatever, they had maybe 20 or 30 people come and work that Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing what sausage is funded around here.
Yes.
eh?
Oh my
Over the
goodness.
years.
Yes. It was really, really wonderful. Yeah.
And it was amazing how Dominic was so immediately associated with, sausages with Dominic.
But I mean, he was organized for it, but
Yeah.
so were the fellows, because
Yeah.
they were the regulars. They were called Hayne, and I don't want to miss any names, but I forget
Yeah,
them.
well.
Michael Hayne.
Well, I can't think of anything else we should add. Do you? Do you think anything else you want to talk about?
Just that love Kirkland Lake, and even what is, that's your aunt, or who's that, your mother, your wife? Who are we talking about at the telephone?
Earlier was
Yeah.
Olive Hanson, which was a good friend of yours.
Yes.
It was my mother-in-law.
Oh, your mother-in-law.
Yes.
Okay, all right, yes. Well, like you said, our kids are
I
together.
married my high school sweetheart, see? And we came
ever
back
nice.
almost.
Aw, ever nice, eh? Well, you certainly did lots of donating your time here, and I'm sure this nice girl did too. And This place is lovely. I was
It
going to
is.
try to get down here, but I ended up with a little problem with walking for a while, so I stayed home.
Well, you had a busy time there.
Yeah.
Time to take a break.
Well, I didn't even drink to get me through it. If Dominic was around, one drink for him, and no, you don't drink, I'll take yours. A little bit of wine, vino.
That
Thank you.
covers it. Another episode of Tales from the Mile of Gold. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.